Another NASCAR silly season domino has fallen as Shane Van Gisbergen will join the NASCAR Cup Series full-time in 2025 with Trackhouse Racing. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel and welcome back to the video. As I just said a second ago, we got some pretty major breaking news as it has been officially announced after months of speculation that Shane Van Gisbergen will join Trackhouse Racing full-time in the NASCAR Cup Series in 2025. But instead of driving the number 97 car, he'll be driving a number 88 car in 2025. Here is a press release from Trackhouse Racing. What began as a one-off Project 91 race in 2023 continued as a successful Xfinity Series campaign in 2024 will turn into a full-time NASCAR Cup Series campaign in 2025 for New Zealander Shane Van Gisbergen. Trackhouse Racing announced today that it has acquired a third charter for the three-time Supercars champion who will join Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez in the team's 2025 Nick Cup Series lineup. This is a big day in so many ways for Trackhouse Racing, Shane, Chevrolet, and race fans across the world, said Justin Marks. This is an important step for our organization, and it's a credit to the men and women at Trackhouse Racing whose hard work and success the last few years has led us to expanding to 3 teams in 2025. Shane Van Gisbergen says, "This is what I have planned for and I am ready," said the 35-year-old Auckland, New Zealand native. "I know there is a tough learning curve ahead, but the best way to learn is to go out and do it. I feel like I've made progress running the Xfinity Series here with Calling Racing, and I can't thank everyone there enough. I look forward to the Cup Series. Those drivers and teams are the best in the world, and it will be an honor to be part of their races." Van Gisbergen Chevrolet will carry the number 88 in 2025. That car number has driven to victory lane 76 times with drivers like Dale Jr., Darrell Waltrip, Dale Jarrett, Donnie Allison, Ricky Rudd, Rusty Wallace, Buddy Baker. The crew chief for Shane Van Gisbergen, according to press release, is going to be Steven Durant, who has been the crew chief for Zane Smith. Last night, it was announced that Zane Smith would not be returning to Trackhouse Racing in 2025, so they're going to be bringing in Steven Durant, who I feel like has shown a lot of improvement as a crew chief. Remember, Steven Durant was one of Kevin Harvick's former engineers. He'll be the crew chief for SVG in 2025. To say I'm really excited about Shane Van Gisbergen going full-time in the NASCAR Cup Series would probably be one of the biggest understatements I probably have ever said on this channel. I think Shane Van Gisbergen has done such a good job in the NASCAR Xfinity Series so far this year. He scored 3 wins so far with Calling Racing, those coming, of course, at Sonoma, Portland, and then, of course, recently at the Chicago Street Course. So we know he's a fantastic road course racer. But not only that, he has shown so much improvement on the ovals this year. He just got a top 5 at Indianapolis recently, a 4th place finish driving that number 97 car, and it's been a down year for Calling Racing, all things considered. He got a 3rd place finish at Atlanta, finished 11th Daytona earlier this year, finished 6th at Phoenix, and is just generally showing a lot of improvement on the ovals as well this year. And like I mentioned, this is a team like Calling Racing that really has taken a step backwards in their performance. So for Shane to do as well as he's done has been very impressive, and I think he has only continued to get better throughout the year. He's currently sitting, I believe, in the top 15 in the standings at the moment, and for him to be even to have a chance to make it on points is incredible. But for him to have the most wins in Xfinity, which by the way he still has 3 wins so far this year, which is the most of any driver in the NASCAR Xfinity Series this year, I think is very, very impressive. And I think it just shows that Shane has continued to get a lot better. And remember, it's also announced earlier today, or yesterday I should say, that he's going to have a lot more opportunities to learn going into next year. Because remember, he is going to run 7 of the final 12 races of the year, including tonight at Daytona International Speedway, and also run the Southern 500, is going to run Las Vegas. I believe he's going to run Homestead at the end of the year. He's going to run, I believe, the Charlotte Roval as well, Talladega, and he's going to have a lot of opportunities to get that extra experience. I think Atlanta as well as he's running, he's going to have that opportunity and chance to learn from experience. Like I mentioned with Xfinity this year, he's done a very, very good job. He's been the best rookie, in my opinion, this year. He's outperformed Jesse Love outside of some ovals this year. And, of course, Haley Deegan struggled. She's no longer in NASCAR at this point. He might be going to IndyCar at this point or Indy Lights. But I think that he has done a very, very solid job. Now, what are the realistic expectations for Shane Van Gisbergen going into 2025? realistically, I think he is going to have a really good chance and opportunity to make the playoffs next year. Trackhouse has shown improvement recently. Ross Chastain has done a pretty good job recently, though he's on the cutoff line at the moment. And Daniel Suarez did get a win, but his performance has gotten a lot better. So I expect that Shane is going to have a chance and opportunity to make the playoffs. And considering the fact there's a lot of rumors and rumblings, there could be up to 5 or 6 road course races in 2025 during the regular season. Obviously, Sonoma. Obviously, there's rumors of Mexico City coming on the schedule. Of course, you do have other tracks like Watkins Glen, which we know he's going to be really strong at that track later this year as well. You, of course, do have other tracks like Circuit Americas, which he should have won in the Xfinity Series and did have a good car in the Cup race before he had some sort of mechanical issues in the event. Being in-house with Trackhouse Racing is going to be absolutely huge, and I think he will get a couple wins next year. If you want my prediction, I think Shane will win at least 2 to 3 NASCAR Cup races, at least 2 next year for sure, both most likely coming on road courses, but if he can get better on the ovals, that's going to be pretty impressive. He had one really solid run going at Charlotte where he did lead some laps, but obviously the finish wasn't that great, and I think that, like I said, Shane has gotten so much better as a driver. This is a guy that had limited stock car racing experience, and for a guy coming into this year that didn't run as much, it was a one-off opportunity back to last year at Chicago that has led to this. Had it not been for Justin Marks calling Shane to come over and race in NASCAR at Chicago, which that win led to all this stuff, I don't think Shane Van Gisbergen will be racing here, and he's just become so popular. I also think there's a good chance and possibility, while he's probably not going to win the most popular driver, he's going to make a run for it. I think Chase Elliott's going to have competition not just from him, but probably Kyle Larson as well, but I think Shane is going to make a run for the money of being the most popular driver. I expect that he is going to do very strong next year. Now, I believe he's currently the only Rookie of the Year contender that's been declared. Yes, Cole Custer and AJ Allmendinger are going back to Cup, but they're not rookies. So SVG is the only Rookie of the Year contender at the moment. I also do believe that he will likely win the Rookie of the Year honors for 2025 as well. The other big thing is the number they're choosing. The number 88. That is the biggest surprise to me. There were rumors at one point about Junior Motorsports maybe going Cup racing for 2025, but this tells me maybe in the future we're going to see SVG make some select Xfinity starts. They may confirm that in the press conference today, but I'd have to imagine that they're looking to potentially have SVG run some Xfinity races with Junior Motorsports. Probably not Kaulig Racing next year because obviously Kaulig and RC are rumored that they're going to be merging their Xfinity program for 2025, so I don't think that is going to be happening for Shane. But this is a huge deal for Shane Van Gisbergen. I think he is going to set the world on fire next year. I think he's going to have one of the best rookie years we've seen in a long time. And I do think he will have a chance to not only make the playoffs next year, but I could see him finishing inside a top 10 or 15 in the standings, realistically. I think he's going to do great with Trackhouse next year. I think he's probably going to do better than Suarez. That's no disrespect. Now, how long is the contract going to be? I have to imagine he's probably going to be in that 88 car at least for the next couple of years. But I expect him to have a very strong season in 2025. I do think Red Bull will have some association with this potentially. WeatherTech is probably going to sponsor this car at some point as well. Now, what does it mean for the rest of silly season? First, I didn't really cover this, but Zane Smith is out of Trackhouse Racing. We do think that Zane Smith most likely is going to Front Row Motorsports for the 2025 season in the NASCAR Cup Series in that third Front Row car. They're another team that's acquired one of the SHR charters. We also do believe that 2311 Racing is going to be getting one of those charters. Bubba Wallace has not signed a contract extension yet with 2311 Racing, but we do believe he is going to sign an extension in the near future. Riley Hurt's name has been linked heavily to the third car for that team. You also got RFK Racing that's looking to expand potentially a 3-car operation for next year. Ryan Preece has also been linked to that ride. Maybe some of Haley Dean gets a chance. Probably not, though, at this point. But I, again, looking at 2311, maybe Carlos Gerber comes out of retirement. But I really love this move for Shane Van Gisbergen. I think he's going to do very strong next year. I think he's going to have a really great year in 2025. And he's going to get some more opportunities and experience later tonight. So nonetheless, congratulations to SVG on getting a Cup opportunity. This has been probably one of the biggest kept secrets for a very long time, or the worst kept secrets for a long time. We knew this was most likely coming, that Shane was going to be moving up to the NASCAR Cup Series. But I cannot wait to see Shane Van Gisbergen full-time in a NASCAR Cup Series car with Trackhouse Racing in 2025. Now, what does it mean for the future of Trackhouse? Because you got Connor Zilisch there as well. He's doing the same thing that Shane has done this year. I expect that next year, by 2026, you may have a lineup of Ross Chastain, Connor Zilisch, and SVG. If I'm Daniel Suarez, I'm looking over my shoulder going into next year. You need to run well if you're Suarez, especially if Connor sets the world on fire, runs great with JRM. I imagine that you're going to see SVG and do great things for sure, and he's probably going to be here for the next couple of years. I wouldn't be surprised by the end of his Cup career if he has 10 to 15 Cup wins. I'm genuinely serious. He could be a potential Hall of Famer in the future. Probably not at this point with his age being 35 years old, but I'm really excited for this. I'm glad to see that Shane Van Gisbergen will officially move up to the NASCAR Cup Series in 2025. So, that is going to be today's special breaking news episode. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, and if I win a video, does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support on Patreon as well. Links in the description below of that, and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. How do you think SVG is going to perform in 2025? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Later tonight on the channel, the NASCAR Cup Series race review from Daytona. Talk about drivers like Kyle Busch and Bubba Wallace and Chris Buescher and Kyle Larson and those guys who are on the cutoff line. Then we'll likely have another SVG video dropping on the channel talking about his performance from Daytona. Tomorrow we're going to have the Truck Series race review from the Milwaukee Mile. And then Monday we're going to have a NASCAR news video talk about this and other rumors and stuff that we'll discuss here on the channel. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode. And I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.